All right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so today we are reviewing and demoing some very cool products by IWA International. So over here we have some flashbangs or diversionary devices, and then we have some smoke grenades. Now I will say I've used IWA products previously. I've used their M11 Multibang. You guys might have seen it in a short that I did. But I gotta say, I was very impressed, not only by the build quality, but the actual output, because I've used several different flashbangs in the military, and then I've also used several different civilian flashbangs, like I think it's Tag-In, the airsoft flashbang. I've used the Bang Innovations, I think it was, like the 22, it's like a metal cartridge that takes the nail gun cartridges and it basically makes a sound. So it's cool, it kind of serves a purpose, but it's not like these. Again, going from being in the military and using actual flashbangs to using like those civilian equivalents usually isn't that satisfying, but I gotta say this definitely changed my mind on civilian diversionary devices. Now again, coming from my background as combat arms in the Marine Corps and the Army, I can really appreciate the utility of these devices. Again, like they really do help with increasing your survivability, and you just feel much more comfortable when prior to going into a room, you can employ one of these. And of course, smokes, they have a bunch of different purposes, whether it be for marking, signaling, or just obscuration. If you're, attacking a breach, or if you're trying to break contact, everybody knows smokes. Everybody knows the utility of smokes. Now, again, I've used a couple of different civilian smoke grenades, and they're just not that impressive. I've used the ones from Enola Gay. They were okay. I think that was like kind of me trying to step up and get a little bit more quality when it comes to smoke grenades, because I've used like the little Chinese smoke grenades, and of course those weren't really impressive. It's kind of just like a fun little firework kind of thing. Now the Enola Gay ones, they were okay, but I feel like they're more for photography or kind of just like not like a special effect kind of thing, not necessarily like, a tactical application, which, might very well be the case. So that's kind of understandable. So I'm very excited to see how these perform. Now, I will say the biggest thing, output is very important for a smoke grenade. This is like much smaller than the actual smoke grenades we get in the military. The ones we get in the military are pretty freaking big. They're like, I don't know, that big. I mean, it's kind of hard to usually just throw them in your dump pouch or something, to be honest, because of like the awkward size. So these being this size is pretty freaking smart. Now I can imagine we're probably not going to get the same output as a military grade smoke grenade, or one, that's over twice the size, but I'm still looking forward to it. I think the biggest thing with smoke grenades is, at least for obscuration, is the weight of the actual product, I guess if you want to word it like that, itself. Because with the Enola Gay ones, whenever I would deploy it, it would just blow away instantly. I mean, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. It's usually pretty breezy, pretty windy. So whenever I was implementing those, especially for a video, I was like really stressing because it kept dispersing very quickly. So I don't know. I'm very excited to try these out. And again, big thanks to IWA for sending these to me. Now we also have our little shoot house set up over here. So we're going to do more of like a static display initially, and then we'll move to some of the more like real world applications of how these might be implemented, and we'll also try and do something for the smokes as well. But yeah, I gotta say, I'm super excited. Again, just like it has a spoon, it has a pin, like it's very realistic to what I've used in the military, which again, even some airsoft ones don't have that. The size of it is very convenient because, it's not like a really awkward length or width, so it's not hard to find flashbang pouches that will actually work for this thing. So I'm pretty excited. I think you guys already know how passionate I am about flashbangs, because I've made 2 merch designs, which I'll kind of throw up over here. I've made 2 merch designs, and then I also have a flashbang tattooed on the back of my leg. So yeah, I think growing up and playing like games like Call of Duty, it always goes back to Call of Duty, but playing Call of Duty where you could have this device and you throw it in and blind, deafen, or distract somebody enough so you can actually go into the room and they don't even know that you're going into the room yet. That utility really showcased when I was actually in the military and we were actually employing flashbangs. And of course it makes sense why you see a bunch of special operators and whatnot carrying flashbangs with them. Now it is important to note the difference between like a flashbang, a stun grenade, and even like a diversionary device. So I've used a flashbang a couple times, but most of what I used even in the military was more of a diversionary device. So it wasn't meant to really concuss somebody. It did a loud flash, it was pretty hot, and it was very loud. It was like 180 decibels. So it was more of a diversion. So you would throw it into the doorway, somebody would look at it, and all of a sudden there's a flash of light and a very loud noise. So it sort of adds to the shock and awe, but it's not necessarily like a stun grenade where it would add concussion to them and make them feel like sick, or again, kind of make them dizzy or what have you. These are more of a distraction or diversion. So that's why generally when you employ these, you would employ it a little bit closer to the doorway, because people, if they're, waiting for somebody to come in, if they heard you or what have you, and they see this thing roll in, your eyes are naturally going to look at it. And then hopefully with the fuse, hopefully it works out to right when they look at it, it goes off, and then you're actually getting into the room. Now, I'm not sure how many of y'all are going to be implementing these in like a real world application, but again, if you're kind of just using it for a video or what have you, which is pretty much what I do, then it will kind of help you make it more believable, I guess. But I know you guys came here for the demo, so what we'll do is kind of adjust the angle of the camera. We'll put it inside the shoe house, and that's where we'll sort of drop our bangs. And we'll do that first, and then we'll move on to the smokes. Yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be pretty freaking fun. Okay, eye pro is on, ear pro is good. Now we're gonna start with the M11 Multibang. And multi-bangs are always a good time. Again, it adds a little bit more shock and awe when you have a bunch of noises going on sort of in close succession. So I'm excited. I mean, I've already used this one before, but again, these flashbangs are just fun. So you can see these come with a safety, so you can't just pull the pin out. You have to disengage the safety, which basically means you just need to flip this sort of ring down like that, and then you're able to pull the pin out. So yeah, pretty cool. You'll see that with military flashbangs as well. Okay, M11 Multibang, let's do it. So pin is out, still holding it because I have the spoon. Disengage the spoon. Hell yeah, man, that is always freaking fun. Okay, so let's see. Okay, and the nice thing about these is they're not like hot to the touch. I mean, for whatever reason, if you want to pick it up, but just so you can kind of see. So yeah, once the spoon pops off, this is able to flip pretty much like any sort of, smoke grenade or frag grenade or flashbang. This will flip and then actually engage it. So yeah, pretty freaking sweet. And I gotta say, it's always fun to keep these pins. When I was on the CQB team, we basically attach it to our flight suit, usually down here, just to make it easier to kind of pull up. Okay, moving on to the M12 Distraction Device. Again, it's gonna be cool to sort of see the different outputs that we'll get for this. Obviously, this isn't a multi-bang, so it's not going to go off multiple times. So keep that in mind. Okay, we have the safety disengaged. Again, pulled the pin, holding it. Yeah, pretty good distraction right there. Pin, holding it. Hey, so this is interesting. So if you look in here, the spoon's actually still kind of attached, which is kind of cool. So if you look in here, there's more of like a, I don't even know what you'd call it, but I'm guessing that is what is responsible for a little bit more of the flash, having like this material here that kind of got burnt out. Okay, and then there's the shots on the inside if you guys want to see that. Okay, kind of cool. I'm probably going to keep these anyway, just because the kids kind of enjoy them. They like to throw them around and say that they have their own bombs. But yeah, interesting one. Okay, now we're moving on to the M13, and I've heard this one is a doozy, so I'm expecting something cool. So let's check it out. Okay, M13, safety disengaged, pin is out. Let's do it. Hell yeah. I don't know if you guys could, I don't know if I was in frame. I hope it was in frame. Pin is out. Let's do it. It's still kind of on fire. See if it's hot. No, okay. Nice. Okay, so this is kind of what the top looks like. Very, very different. So actually, okay, so upon further review, I'm pretty sure that did not go how it was supposed to. For one, we can kind of see here, the entire fuse assembly kind of just blew off in my hands. And I felt that when I pulled the pin and released the spoon a little bit, the spoon really punched back on my hand. So I managed to find the spoon. I have no idea where the fuse assembly is. I'll put the video and I'll kind of slow-mo, but that fuse assembly just went. And you can also kind of tell that the bottom isn't like engaged at all. So I think something went wrong there. I think the fuse assembly popped off when it wasn't supposed to. So that fire, I don't know if that fire was a good thing. I mean, it is thermobaric, so I don't know if that was like one of the intended purposes or like kind of visuals. But yeah, that was interesting. I do want to try and see if I'm gonna look some more and see if I can find the fuse assembly. If not, we do have another one that we can implement, and we will implement for the actual demo here. But yeah, interesting. I kind of want to open it up, but I don't know. Maybe that's not a good idea. Okay, so I'm opening it up. I'm just gonna use a rock. So yeah, there's all that stuff on the bottom. This is kind of the plate. So yeah, I don't think it went off like it was supposed to. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this, I guess. This is why I shouldn't join EOD. Not to mention I'm colorblind. Okay, I can find it, but it's all right. So we're gonna move into the more real world kind of demo. I need to keep doing the air quotes because you guys can kind of see the setup here. But yeah, so we're gonna move into that. Now, I will say, generally speaking, when you're employing a flashbang, you pull the pin and chuck it. So with me, I was kind of popping the spoon off, and maybe that's why it kind of, I don't know, did what it did. It shouldn't be an issue, to be honest, because I've done that plenty of times. You can do it with like smoke grenades even, but I don't know, maybe that was why. So we'll kind of try and implement it how we normally would in this video, as close as you can with one person, and see if maybe it acts a little bit more what it's supposed to act like. Okay, so we have Ivan chilling over here in his little hidey hole, and yeah, we're about to bang him. All right, so we have Ivan over here in his little hidey hole. So you can't really see him right now. So again, that's kind of why we use flashbangs, because if there's an area that you haven't cleared and you're about to go into it, then, you know, why not implement a flashbang? And if there is somebody in there, then they're probably going to be rethinking their decisions. So, all right, let's go ahead and do it. Now, generally speaking, you'd take this down with a team, at least 3 people, but 2 is good enough. So the person holding security wouldn't be the one implementing the flashbang, but we're just kind of gonna do it for this demo because it's just me out here. All right, so see the room, I'm gonna pie it off. Okay, nobody yet. Okay, so I'm pretty much at my limits. Now, if I had a 2-man, he would basically push up right here and start holding security on that as well. And if needed, I can actually have somebody pie across and get behind me to implement the flashbang, or somebody behind my 2-man here can throw the flashbang in as well. But for this demo, I'm just gonna be the one utilizing it. Okay, so I'm prepping it. And you can kind of see here, I'm just looping the pin around my pinky so I can still keep my hand on the pistol grip. Because even if I wasn't holding security, you still want to keep your hand on the pistol grip. Okay, so doing it. It's in. Bruh. It's in. It's not in. So, okay, that's a first. So I think when I deployed it, it pushed off of my hand and went that way. Okay, so doing it. It's in. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, so pin is out. Flashbang in. Just like that. Flashbang in. Just like that. Now, the nice thing about a multi-bang is you can time it a little bit better. Generally speaking, I think the ones we had in the military had like a 1.2 or 1.5 second fuse. So it's pretty much out of your hand and going off. So at that point, you're already going, or the 1-man and 2-man are already going. But with this one, since it takes a little bit longer, right as that first bang is going off, I can start making entry and it's still going to be, you know, going off, still distracting them, adding to that shock and awe. There's a few different schools of thoughts on that one, but that's generally how people would do it. Now, if it's just one singular bang, then you're gonna kind of want to throw it and then make entry right as it's getting thrown, just so you can kind of take advantage of it, because you don't want to bang and then an entry, you know, too much gap in between that, because then it's not really doing too much. Gives them time to recover. Okay, now for the M13 again. So hopefully this time the fused assembly doesn't completely pop out of the thing, but we'll see. All right, Ivan's having a bad day over here, and we're about to make it much worse. Okay, so pieing it off. Again, people will pie differently. Some people will kind of just tank turret it, but for me, I just want to use a little bit more of the cover. But you can check out my CQB instructional video if you want to learn a little bit more about that. Okay, so I'm pieing off. Okay, can't really see anything. Again, I wouldn't be the one prepping it, but I'm going to do it for this video. Get the pin around my pinky. Pull. Pull. You can do it. You can do it. We'll get this to work. You know what they say? If that doesn't work, you can always shoot it. That didn't work. It doesn't want to go off. It's a Friday. It's tired, I guess. Maybe I'm just unlucky. You know, I'm gonna go take my rage out on Ivan here. And for IWA, if you're watching, the batch number is 9275 for the M13s there. Okay, so now we're gonna be testing out the M14 Smoke. Now this is a green one, pretty much same size, same shape and everything, same safety. So yeah, we have the safety off. Gonna pull the pin and let's get it right here. Okay, so, oh, it's going out of both sides. That's kind of cool. Man, that looks so, I don't know if it's supposed to be doing that. Pretty good cloud though. I mean, it's really blocking out the sun there. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's a heavy cloud right there. It's still going too. Hell yeah. All right, I think it's about done. Yeah, so there's the smoke cloud. Pretty good. We saw like some jet engine start up there for a second. I don't know what that was, but yeah, I gotta say, it even smells like a normal smoke grenade, like a military M18. Okay, nice. I'm pretty freaking happy with that. Way better than a Enola Gaze. That's always something I hated in the service, was the smell of smoke grenades when you're going through a breach and you're just sucking up all that smoke. Oh man, that stinks. Okay, so we got our smoke. Now we're gonna be using this for obscuration. So we're gonna do a sort of break contact drill. Nothing too crazy, but again, just to kind of see how it would generally be implemented, or how these smoke grenade might be implemented. All right, so let's say I'm in the thick of it. I'm having a really bad time. So now I need to beat feet and get out of here. I mean, not the best shooting platform if I'm being honest, but at this point I'm just being suppressed. Break contact! Private smoke! Was that cool? Felt kind of cool. Yeah, so again, you can sort of tell how heavy the cloud is because it's kind of just sort of chilling on the ground there as opposed to dispersing into the air. So that's good stuff. Yeah, that's great for obscuration. Aside from the M13 and me just needing like remedial training on how to throw a flashbang, it was good. The M11 was great. The M12 worked fine. I don't know what was going on with the M13s. It might just be a bad lot or something, but yeah, again, it's still by far the most realistic, at least, you know, the closest you can get to what you use in the military, or what I use in the military. It's still the closest you can get from what I've used. The quality on the M13 though definitely needs to get fixed, because obviously if you are using it for real world for whatever reason, you don't want an unreliable flashbang. Like, it really defeats the purpose, because again, you're kind of putting yourself in harm's way just employing it for that split second. And then if it's not working, then they definitely know you're going to be coming to the room now. So hopefully people aren't using these for real world and then things like that happen. But again, it is kind of crappy, especially for the price for those. You know, if you're using it for a video or what have you, if it still doesn't work, it's not that fun. I've had an Enola Gay smoke that didn't work. It just completely pulled the assembly out when I tried pulling the pin, and yeah, obviously there wasn't any smoke, so that wasn't fun. And again, paying for products like that when it doesn't work is more of an inconvenience. I'm sure you can get a refund and whatnot, but it's still just an inconvenience more than anything. But again, they're still great products. Those smokes, I need to get more of those smokes, because those smokes were freaking awesome. Definitely awesome. Better than anything I've used by far, as far as like civilian smoke grenades. But yeah, the quality control, if they fix that, I'll be very, very happy. Again, I just like having all these pins now. These are some pretty high quality pins, I'll say that much. So if you need like a key ring or something, you could also utilize this, because they're pretty freaking strong. But yeah, it was a good time. I like demoing it. IWA for watching. Again, hopefully we can get past the quality issues on that M13. The rest were fine. The issue where I kind of tried throwing it and it bounced off and went somewhere else, don't worry about that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions on the products or how they compare to other things, you can feel free to ask down below, because again, I've used my fair share of sort of pyrotechnics, but also like military grade stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with them though. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. That's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one. I try to see if I forgot anything, but yeah, again, big thanks to IWA for hooking it up.